Most times, the problem with femininity is that it is being defined by what culture says and by what environment says. Hello everyone, good afternoon. Guess who is back from wherever she went to? Me! Hi everyone, it's Sharikoti here and it has been more than a minute. I'm guessing that the title of this video made you click and you're like, okay, what does she have to say? Recording this video from a place of gratitude, really. It's a story. Growing up, I really hated the idea of being a woman. I wanted to identify as a tomboy because I felt like girls that were more soft, feminine in their approach were being superficial, and that was not what I wanted to be seen as, because being superficial, it seems like you're helpless and you're gonna be taken advantage of. Of course, most girls, had at least one or two experiences of being taken advantage of. So I think from that point also, I kind of felt the need to be hard, so to harden up, to look tough. I didn't like the idea of someone helping me, because why are you helping me? You want to take advantage of me, And sometimes the people that take advantage of you are not necessarily like the strangers. Sometimes are the people that are close. Hence, that even deepens the sore, and you're like, no, I just want to, prove a point. I want to be strong. And so the definition of these terminologies were greatly affected by the environment, and then the feelings, the pain, the traumas, etc. And so as I grew older, it now began to feel like a conflicting idea, because there were really not so many women that seemed to be on this other side. Something about wanting to have this hard shell and wanting to be all hardened wasn't just fitting in my original core, I'll put it that way. But again, I didn't know how to transit from that point to this point. And I tried all types of things, it still didn't work out. And I'll still say that even in this place that I am in, of course I have journeyed far, but it is still that the fact that I am every day becoming, the art of becoming is not a one-time thing, it is an everyday thing. And so I am now in a place where I'm grateful that God made me woman. Like, I'm still seeing what he's saying about me. I'm still seeing the picture of what he meant when he said woman. And the more I'm seeing it, the more I'm excited that he had to take this being, this way, this physique, and then he put it on me for me to showcase a nature of him that is so beautiful. The beauty of being a capsule to which life can be brought on earth, a portal, the beauty of being a warrior, but in the outside shell may not even have so much strength, but I'm a warrior. The beauty of being a nurturer, the beauty of giving birth to things, bringing ideas to pass, like the beauty of I may look so soft, but I have so much innate strength. Just looking at myself from the perspective of God every day just keeps blowing my mind, and I'm like, wow, I really love being a woman. Most times, the problem with femininity is that it is being defined by what culture says and by what environment says, and also masculinity actually. But since I'm talking about femininity, I would stick on that topic. Culture, society is not what defines you. It is the person that created you that has the right to define you. Femininity, in all honesty, because most times I see people think that femininity is about like the nails, lashes, hairs, and all of those things. No, all of us are created in different ways and different colors and hues. It's interesting how when God created earth, he didn't say everything should be all black, all blue, all green. Like everything has different sort of hues and beauty, and that is just exciting. I have amazing friends that do not like makeup, and when they come out without makeup, they look so beautiful. I have friends that wear makeup, and when they come out in makeup, they just show you another way of beauty. We are not called to be the same body type, and that's because God is such a God of beauty. Like, he's a God of creativity and diversity. Like, all flowers are not sunflowers, neither are all flowers roses. There are different types of flowers, lilies, daisies, all types, and you're just excited. Like, look at, and in every one of them you can see the beauty and the nature of God. I really disliked being this type of girl that I was, like I said to you earlier, because I felt like they were superficial, and I felt like, oh well, it's this thing of you looking helpless. But the more I keep seeing how God talks about me, and then he calls me the Rose of Sharon, and I think about, you know, the scripture and how he paints a picture of me, I am getting so more comfortable in being colorful. I love colors. I love the idea of wearing my jewelries. I love the idea of wearing certain colors on my skin. I really find it beautiful. I love the idea of exuding colors. I feel like I'm someone my friends now call me ray of sunshine, and that's really beautiful, because I honestly feel like a ray of sunshine. Like, I just want to splurge on you all types of colors. I want you to meet me and be excited, energetic. I want you to feel loved and all warm and fuzzy and glowy. That is my brand, my flow. Some other persons may not be that, and that's the thing. Most times we really rely on society to give us some set of like precept and guidance. I was scrolling through YouTube recently, and I saw certain thumbnails that had titles like "Be That Kind of Girl He Wants." I don't know, and then it's like, oh yeah, you should wear certain jewelry, certain this, that, so that when he sees you, he would just be turned on. And I was just like, no, the focus is not on him, it's on him, like on God. Like, can you allow his fragrance just ooze in his fragrance and allow it to also exude? Like, we're the light of the world. Can we allow the nature of God that is soft, and nature of God that is nurturing, beautiful, feminine, let it flow through us? You know, the El Shaddai nature of God, can it flow through us? I really want more women to break free from that cultural limitation of what femininity is. That whatever he calls you to be, you will do it in all beauty, in all aura. That if he calls you to be mother at the time he has called you, that you will live it in its fullness. If he calls you to be a working class woman, you would do it in its fullness. That you would live your life in the capsules of time in its fullness. I am really living in that, and I'm loving it. I just recently turned 30, and I remember how that when I was age 25, I feared 30 so badly, and that was because of the things I heard. I remember being told to my face that when you're 30, you are old, and the old was not coming from a place of growing older, right? It came from a place of, it's more like you no longer have some essence, you're no longer exciting, you know. And these things were not said to me by strangers. They said to me by people that were really close to me. And so I feared 30 so badly that I stopped dreaming. I stopped thinking big. I kind of started trying to self-preserve. That's a big problem in itself, self-preservation. Because the word of God says that if he can clothe the lilies, clothe the different types of flowers that we see, even the birds. I love watching Instagram stories and reels about birds. I follow those kind of pages, and then you see how some male birds are looking so pretty with long lashes, with all type of flamboyant colors on them. I'm like, if he can do that to birds, flowers, how much more us, right? There's a thing that when you take your gaze off yourself and you bring it to God and you're focusing on him, like God was teaching me recently that, look, I'm so farther enough that I'm aware you're going to go to work. Like, sometimes we think that God is not familiar with our day-to-day routines. Like, I mean, he's familiar. He knows you need to eat, you need to drink. He knows that you need stuff. He was like, I know you need stuff, so it's not a problem of, oh, maybe he doesn't know. He's like, no, I know that. I'm daddy enough. And so he was telling me that most of us, our problem is that we've experienced so much of pain, trauma from our earthly fathers. Like, we didn't really have great relationship with our earthly fathers. Hence, that has tainted our perception of who God is. And that's one thing he's really looking out for, to heal us from the taints of what fatherhood is, so that we can actually enjoy him in his fullness. And so it's just so exciting that the more I am seeing myself from this angle of, oh, this is actually what me, a woman, is in the eyes of God, the more I'm excited to just want to allow the fragrance of him to ooze out of me. And so when I began to look at him at 25 and say, you know what, Lord, I'm not going to follow this standard, these voices I'm hearing, what people are saying, what people sometimes very close to me are saying about growing older. I want to see your perspective. And that was when God said, there's a difference between growing older and aging. Growing older means that you are arriving at a place of maturity. Things about you are settling, you are having perspective, you are chasing, that you are on the path of God, you are becoming, right? But aging means retrogression. It means that you are losing out, like you are going backwards. And so the most times the problem is that as we grow older age-wise, we now end up taking the mindset of aging, which now makes us to retrogress. Growing older is maturity, aging is retrogression. And it's like, stop retrogressing. You now begin to lose the capacity to dream, lose the capacity to chase. A 30-year-old now be like, oh, my back hurts. Oh, my mind is this. Oh, I am old. I can no longer do big things. I can no longer do great things. And there I am in the word of God. I'm seeing people like Sarah. God is saying she would give birth at the age she gave birth. Saying like Abraham, God is saying, get out of your father's house and then go into a land. And the man is going with God in adventures. How many of us have left God because we're like, oh, I remember when I was much younger, I was full of dreams. Now I'm just an adult and all I have is responsibilities. Of course, you are to have responsibilities, but they're not the kind that should kill your dreams, that should kill your person. Of course, God has called you to motherhood, but can you allow him to teach you the art of motherhood? The one that doesn't kill you, the one that instead forms you, makes you to become more like him as you are raising your children. Or is it the work? You're like, oh, now that I have work, I don't have any more strength to do any other thing. Can you allow God to self-regulate you? So I love how the Lord is self-regulating me. He's literally the one on my schedule, telling me what to do, when to do, and how to do, and also giving me the time to rest and to collect myself. I remember listening to Didike, and she said, someone came to meet her and say that, how do you do all these many things? And also my coach has said the same thing. Lady Kems, Pastor Kemi Verdadetiba, say that, oh, people come and say, oh, how are you doing all these things? And she's like, man, I'm resting. I'm actually running on God. And most times we say these things from the angle of, oh, if you know that, if you know, I'm just dying. But no, really, we run on God. Like, He's our regulator. He knows when we should rest. And so if you allow Him, He literally will lead you through. So most times we're really just afraid of becoming. Let's go to mentors. God started with this journey. God has blessed me with mentors. Every one of us, we have patterns, we have prototypes that God can bless us with to be able to direct us on where we're going to. God has blessed me with amazing prototypes of women. I began to see myself as someone who don't want to lose my godliness, my colorfulness, my wanting to have these kind of hairs and wanting to do all type of things. But I still wanted to do it in a way that it doesn't make me lose my capacity to serve, to do the heavyweight stuff. Because I understand that God has called me to nations, and I'm like, Lord, how do I handle career and also handle other parts of my life? Because society would tell you that a woman cannot have everything. It's either her family is suffering because of she has other things to do. And so I remember telling God that, prove me wrong, show me that this is possible. And God started opening me to people like DDK that are serving nations, being efficient wives, serving their children. People like Pastor Kemi Fred Adetiba, Mrs. Awoshika, and many more amazing women that He has been exposing me to. And He's like, these are your prototypes, the people that have foreigners, people that I have put in front of you for you to know that it's possible. What are they saying? How are they coming about? It is how they're coming about that will help you to chase. And I have just been building with the structures that God has been putting in my heart to build in alignment with these things. Being a woman, you have to understand the prototypes God has put before you, and you have to build structures. You have to understand who He called you to be, who He's saying you are, where you are headed to, and find community. The final thing I'll say is community. I always hated the idea of having female friends because it was like, oh man, female friends are conversant, they're full of emotional dysfunctions and here and there, which also, of course, I also had mine. But now I'm blessed with an amazing community of sisters, and I'm just grateful that I'm having female friendships that are genuine, that is not coming from a place of, oh, what's she wearing now, what's she up to now, and all of those things, scandalous things. No, it's that we're really building, that we can come together and we're interacting with what God is saying, and we are forming, we're shaping, we're aligning, admiring each other's looks and hairs, but at the same time having this core thing of chasing and building in God. It's so beautiful. So I really identify as woman. I love being woman. I love the brand of woman He's calling me to. And look, if only we all can stand up in this branding that He's doing and allow ourselves to shine in the very nature He has called us, free from what cultural and societal norms say, but what God's words say. The world is only waiting for the manifestation of the right branding of women. And I just love the idea of being on that path. So I want to ask you again, do you hate being a woman? If you do, it's high time you find out what a real woman is, so that you really see how much power and strength and life you exude. We're not going to be women so that we can fight men and prove them wrong. Oh no. We're balanced women. We're women that will submit to our spouse. We're women that will build alongside the men God has blessed us with. We're in full knowledge of who we are. Because that's who we're going to build properly. We're going to help create the nations, the cities. Okay, this is getting so exciting, but look, I really hope that these things I said did bless your heart, and that someone out there will watch this and she will be transformed, revived, brought back to the path. She would again love her femininity in a world that is screaming that being a woman is a disadvantage. She would see that actually she is a warrior, great, strong, mighty. Thank you everyone for watching, and please share this video with someone amazing that you know. Subscribe, and see you soon. Bye.